Welcome to the Dad and Sons Power Hour Sonic Gotta Go Fast Speed Edition.
Gotta go fast.
We're
It's gonna be a fast one.
I'm Speedrunner Liam, joined with here on the couch with Speedrunner Matt and Speedrunner George. Today's contestants have exactly 1 hour to complete their task of telling you some jokes, some news, and a little bit of heart. On your marks, go.
Liam, tell us about announcing a game.
Well, it might take a few hours.
No!
Oh god. Where to even start? Which is not great for a fast pod. Yeah, released a game. Oh my god, I teased it for ages. You guys knew about it for a long time. I can't believe I had to keep that a secret and had to be like an actual professional about things for once. That's weird. Released Curse to Golf again.
But it's not Curse to Golf 2. It's Curse to Golf.
Electric Boogaloo.
Big, fancy 10-person team.
Yeah, released and announced Curse to Golf, the proper Curse to Golf, the professional, on Steam right now. Go to your browser, go to store page Steam and type Curse to Golf, and you will find it, and you can wishlist it right now. We announced it via...
Put it on your wish list.
Yeah, please do. Please.
Right now.
Please. You don't have to buy it. Just please do it. You have no idea how much it helps.
It's literally the opposite of piracy.
Yeah, it's like what George likes.
You're supporting the developer without spending any money or really doing anything at all.
And who really plays video games these days anyway? Just pretend that you did it, right? You know, like... pretend that you bought it by wish listing it and supporting us.
No, everyone's buying this fucking game.
I always know I can count on that.
Liam, remind us why wish listing is important.
Wish listing is super important because it pushes you up the Steam algorithm. So you have tags attributed to your game. So for example, Curse to Golf is a sports roguelite pixel art game, and those are the main tags. So the more wishlists it has, the more it goes up in those rankings, right? So the more it's going to appear on the Steam front page, the more eyes are going to get on it, the more people are going to see it, the more chance you have of it being a successful launch eventually. You know, the kind of going rate is about 10% of the amount of wish lists you have is the amount of sales you'll get. So for example, if you have 200,000 wish lists, you'll get about 20,000 sales, which arguably is not a lot, right? So, you know, it's super important to try and get wish lists. But yeah, we announced a game via an IGN exclusive. That's so weird to say. We were the dumb little Curse to Golfer was on the front page of IGN in a big banner for literally 24 hours. I have no idea what's happened.
For any of the conspiracy theorists who think this is all payola between friends with conflicts of interest, no, IGN does not pay for stuff like that.
No.
It is clearly out of PR agents talking to editors and editors deciding what they want to feature out of them being purely impressed by what they see themselves.
It is true, actually. I mean, I don't know how I'm allowed to talk about this, but in fact... if you pitch to IGN as like, you know, asking if you can have an exclusive, you have to show them gameplay footage of your game running and working, like a 15-minute to 20-minute full gameplay preview, and then they decide whether or not they like your game. So they purely only show stuff based on how they are interested in it and what they think is good. We sent it to IGN a couple of weeks ago. They really liked the gameplay preview. And then we made the trailer that you might have all seen. And yeah, we got lucky. Lucky, a little bit of hard work, you know, goes a long way.
No, there was definitely strategy to it. And,
Yeah.
and one thing that I also think is really good Steam strategy for other developers to know, we were just talking about how you localize the page in different languages and got a whole bunch of coverage from foreign language media outlets. Like that combined with the IGN is a scale of reach that I have a hard time comprehending. Like there's tens of millions looking at these pages, if not way more, depending on how long their eyeballs stay focused. But yeah, localization, languages.
It's super important. You don't realize, me and George were sort of talking about it before. We were going through kind of the media that had covered the announcement for Curse to Golf, and predominantly a lot of it is foreign language. You don't realize just how much, like, outside of the English language speaking community of gamers, there really is, you know, out there. and can affect your game sales or your announcement success and stuff like that. So, that combined with the IGN exclusive, combined with all of this like snowball effect that just stumbled. And, we were front page Kotaku, we were front page Game Informer, we were front page like the Eurogamer, Italy and Portugal and Spain.
And IGN Africa.
IGN Africa, IGN China,
Stuff we
IGN
never
Middle
knew
East.
about.
Yeah.
Ooh, ha.
It's been a weird day. And like it's been pretty amazing to see also on Twitter like people like Dan Reichart liked it, and Patrick Klepek, and like Mikey
Dave Oshry.
Newman. Yeah, Dave Oshry. Well, Dave's a good friend. I like Dave a lot.
Everyone in the phone books you find at GDC.
Just some people I would never expect to be interested, just being like, this game looks great. And, I think it's been,
because it is great.
I think, well,
Jesus.
Matt has been significantly slapping me for months about like how it will be fine.
Since the
But
fucking beginning.
Since the beginning.
I don't know, man. It's a game I made. I get
Matt
it.
knows.
It's your own creation. I get it. But the shit was good from the beginning. Yeah.
But when you make something you don't know because you know all the dirty secrets and tricks and shortcuts you're taking.
Yeah, I know. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. Like
Yeah.
I've done videos and I'm just like, shit, man.
Yeah.
The certain parts that people like, man, the things I had to do. Yeah. So
Oh, and you can't stand watching your own videos and listening to your own voice.
I
What
can't
is
stand
it
listening
like?
to the same podcast as myself.
And it's absolutely 100% necessary for game developers to get other people playing their game, because then they start breaking it, doing weird things. How horrible is it playing your own game though? How do you just I'm wondering if you end up like limiting your own play style because you know what the engine can't isn't quite programmed to handle, or if all that anxiety comes out.
Oh God, that's a really good question. And there's a couple of things we touched on there. One thing I do want to say is that in terms of like actually showing the game to people for the trailer, it was made by Mark, who works here at High Labs, part of the team. And I had entire faith that it was going to be great because he's a very good video editor. I was more nervous about the fact that it was me talking and how gamers don't like game developers talking, but the positive response on the flip side has been like overwhelming, because I sat there last night. It was 1 a.m. when we announced it here in Japan, because that was when the IGN exclusive went live. And I was just sat there. I'd finished working and I was literally just sat there for 5 hours in the office, staring at a wall, because I was so nervous, because either two things that were going to happen. One was people see it and people hate it, and people don't like the way the trailer was presented. People don't like me and my enthusiastic personality or whatever. People are like, oh, fuck this guy, right? And I understand that. But the flip side of that is that you would have had eyeballs, and you might have potentially become like a meme, and then you still get eyeballs, and that can be good for the success of your game, regardless of whether people like it or not. And the horrible other reality is you release it and 10 people watch it, and that's it. And then your big splash is over and you did nothing. And that is just far worse. And I was terrified that was going to happen. Regardless of how good the game is, we maybe could have missed the timing. Gamescom had just finished, blah, yada, yada, yada. Thankfully, that's not what happened.
Something else cooler could have shown up on the IGN editor's table that day.
Elden Ring could have been like, today's the day we're going to drop a fucking gameplay trailer. Anything could have happened, right? Because we don't know these things. Somehow it went overwhelmed. Like, I haven't been able to like look away from Twitter or the internet all day, because something new is happening every minute. There was a new article from a new website, or there was new impressions, or somebody of interest had tweeted it, or just hundreds of people are looking at it. We made a TikTok and the TikTok has got like 10,000 views already. It's pretty crazy. So it's been overwhelming. But to go back to it, what gave me a lot of confidence about actually letting people play it is you two, because there aren't many people who've played it, and both of you have played 2 to 3 different versions of it in different states. And every time you've had incredible feedback, and also given me the confidence to know that I was going in the right direction. Like Matt, you've never ever let me know that it was going to be bad. You were like, "Fuck you, it's going to be fine," right? And
yeah, because it is.
And George recorded himself for like an hour playing it and just talking aloud, and like you could see him descending into very George-like thinking about things, which is like, well, if I do this over here and I place this here, maybe like Metal Gear Solid my way around this TNT box, and then if I Tom Clancy my way through this portal, I'll find myself in front of the golf hole. And it's so great. It's so great. Is that
not how you're supposed to play it?
It is, but it's like
I gotta say the portals.
You even think more. Yeah.
The portals. I went back and played it again and actually used the power-ups, and my God, the power-ups really changed everything. There's like this certain stage where you can use the portal to skip a whole section, and you can just by swinging a different way.
Sequence breaking in a fucking Golfy-vania. Yeah, non-linear, open-ended levels. You gotta use strategy. You gotta think about. I'm surprised if my playthrough really looked that different, but who knows? When only like 5 people have played, how can you know?
It didn't, but it was so great because it leads into what you asked, which is, do I get it must be hard to play my own game. And it is, and it's not because it isn't fun. Like, honestly, I do really think the game is fun, and I actually have not got bored of it yet. But what I do get bored of is the fact that I'm really fucking good at it now. Therefore, I keep struggling with what the balance.
Once it's out, some obsessive
someone will be amazing.
Nerd is going to pass you in a week.
But that fine balance between, okay, I'm kind of bored because I'm really good at it, and but I built the level, so I know what everything is. But then when I watch both of you play, or I watch someone play it for the first time, I remember then that they have no idea where the levels lead. They don't know what walls lead to other. They don't know what power-up is going to affect it right now. Even if I think, oh, if I portal through this wall to that wall, I'm going to be in front of the green. You know, if people don't check the birdie eye or they don't do this, then they don't know either. And then it gives me like a renewed sense of like, okay, right? The difficulty is kind of there, and the power-up breaking is not too bad that it's like busted, but it's definitely good enough that players think they're powerful, like Matt just said.
Yeah.
So the hardest part is playing it and trying to play like a normal person. So today I actually played a build with no debug at all for the first time. You know, the one that we're going to send to PAX. It's going to be at BitSummit and PAX this week. So by the time you've heard this, hopefully there'll be some gameplay impressions and stuff out there. And I played it for the first time where I had to pay attention. I had to use the power-ups to try and survive. I was trying to finish the demo. And, you know, it's very easy to immediately just start wasting shots because you think you're fucking top shit. And all of a sudden, you're down to your final shot and you're about to lose. And you're like, oh, this is how this game can feel to other players. And yeah, that's been good to see.
Yeah, and all the feedback videos, I distinctly remember, like, if you hooked up a tension meter to my brain, it would be going wild when you have to hit the last shot and you're on your last life, and you actually land it. We're going to be talking a lot about comparing things to Dark Souls nowadays, aren't we? IGN already... No, wait, was it IGN or Kotaku who said the line?
It was IGN, but... Shout outs to the Dad and Sons Discord, who are the originators of it's the Dark Souls of golf.
But it did kind of activate a similar neuron reflex to like hitting the last blow on a Dark Souls boss when you're out of life. It's like you have a whole bunch of time to see what's going to happen, but you have to make your move right within 1 millisecond.
Yeah.
And it's like that conflict, that grind between having so much quiet time to plan versus having a frantic mess of a time to execute is it's tactics, right? It's totally Tom Clancy's golf tactics.
My favorite subtitle for this game is that Tom Clancy's golf tactics.
Oh,
I love it.
It's too bad that you have to call Ubisoft to know whether or not you can do that.
Do you have a golf game? Because if not, I've got one for you.
I mean, with the way the Tom Clancy brand has gone over the years, would it really be that much a stretch?
I'm honestly like gobsmacked, like how it's gone. Like, yeah, wow.
I hate to force us to change topics, but we do have a short podcast this week.
Yes.
So, Matt, what happened to you?
Oh.
Are you okay? Are you hanging in there?
Yeah. So I played 2 games I really enjoyed. Like really enjoyed for the first time in a while. And I couldn't find another game after that. So we have 2 games and I'll be quick. Because they're the same game pretty much.
Oh.
Okay.
I went and I milked the milkman pretty much. Anyone has any guesses on what that first game is?
Wait, you did say this to me.
Yeah, I did, and you thought I sold my NFTs.
Yeah, I thought you were like, wait, the milkman cometh.
Yeah, did you actually play Psychonauts? I'm totally betting my money down on Psychonauts.
Yes, I
Yes!
did.
Oh, right.
Best
right. Okay.
one of the all-time best levels in all video games ever is the Milkman conspiracy.
Well done. I didn't get it.
It's good. It's good. The game is good. It's an older game. It's you get used to it. It's like, oh, okay, the jumping's a little weird. The camera's just, you don't really feel when you're jumping like where you're gonna land. I don't know how to explain that. Maybe
like
Ray
weird,
would explain that. It has this weird floating thing, and you're like, wait a minute, am I gonna hit the rope or not? Am I gonna fall over? You get used to it because it's old, but it's still good. There's certain sections where you feel like I might kill myself because the platforming sucks balls, but then you do it and you're like, oh, okay, this is not that bad. The last level, I it's like the worst. Sometimes you don't double jump when you jump off a net or something, and it drove me insane.
I do remember that dissonance that like Psychonauts 1 had 4 incredibly creative, wild levels that I still remember to this day, but I cannot remember what happened before and after them. And I feel like it's because those were levels that focused more on creative adventure game tricks. The Waterloo level, the Milkman conspiracy, of course.
Yeah.
The multicolored one with the bulls. It looks like Mexican Day of the Dead artwork.
Oh shit, yeah.
I'm sure there's a fourth one if I can think harder, but I remember the first one being like a war battlefield sort of situation, and it not clicking until like 3 levels in. Then I was like, oh, now I get why this game's a classic.
Yeah, it's good. It's like, I wish playing this game, it made me wish that I played this when I was young. It really did.
I played it when I was 15, I think, and I do wonder if the platforming would be a lot harder to go through as a grumpy old man versus a kid who can tolerate time being wasted.
Since it's my first time, levels do go fast. It's not bad.
They're pretty speedy from what I remember, yeah.
Yeah, they're not bad. They go through, which is a nice pace. They do have a nice pace. Yeah, there's a lot of collectibles and stuff like that, and I'm not really a fan of collectibles. Like I'm more of a It Takes Two type of guy. I love this shit to just be an adventure. But the collectibles were nice. They're easy, and I'm okay with easy collectibles.
Me too. Apart from you don't like Mario Odyssey. What's that all about?
Yeah. Fucking hell. Yeah, it made me wish that I played this when I was young, because I probably would have felt the way I feel about It Takes Two back then with Psychonauts. Because it's that good, just an old good, you know?
With how like creative and weird things get.
Yeah.
In terms of turning regular platforming on its head.
Some of the ugliest motherfucking characters I've ever seen in my life.
They did wonders with that art style, though. Like, the second game looks so good, and the first one looks definitely aged.
Yeah.
Like, they're you can see they're kind of going for a Tim Burton Cartoon Network turn of the millennium emo period art style with the first game. The second one looks like timeless. It looks like classic claymation. I'm wondering if 10 years from now that the second game is still going to look as good as it does today, because they really overhauled it while still maintaining that Tim Burton-esque, oh no, my limbs are toothpicks sort of proportion.
And I went right into the second game and beat that one too.
Oh!
How long of a gap is that? The first one came out in 2004, right? Or was it 5? We're looking at something like 16, 15 years of knowledge and experience and the world changing. What did they learn? What have they employed?
It's kind of the same. They kind of made it smooth. It's like it's like they designed it. It was like weird. They did remove some powers and add you some different ones, obviously, to make it spicy. But they also left in, they made it too much the same, I would say. They left in a lot of the tedious shit. Like, the way you get money is picking it off the ground. And it still happens in this one. The arrows.
Too much of it.
Yeah, like that's
too...
basically how you get money, and by killing enemies. But like that was pretty much it. And just like there's just one section in one which is awful. The only section I would say literally awful other than the jumping at the end of the game, which is you have to get the cobweb duster for 800 arrowheads, and it just locks you out. You have to get out there and grind the whole camp, and get your metal detector out and try to find like 800. It's a lot. 800 is a lot.
Damn.
If you're not working on it from the very beginning. And I was not. I was just going through the game like a normal fucking person, and a lot of normal people. 'Cause I looked up online. I was like, is anyone okay with this? And no one was okay with it.
Maybe it'll be patched by the time I get around to it.
Nah, it's done now. This shit's been on Steam for a while. That's just how it is. You better pull out that cheat engine.
What? It's been on Steam for like less than a week.
It's on Game Pass, right?
Oh yeah, it's on Game Pass too.
No, that's one. I'm talking about one.
Oh, you're still talking about...
No, I went back to one. That's the only section. That's what I'm saying. And in 2...
My mind is manifesting.
In 2, you still pick up shit from the ground, and they have all this stuff that you can change with your character, but you don't ever get that much money unless you're just doing random stuff and trying to find these new collectibles. The collectibles now are hard to get. All the suitcases and all the shit from baggage.
The meat circus. That was my 4th favorite Psychonauts level. Anyway, sorry, continue.
The meat circus. Oh shit, I remember.
My 4th favorite.
There's collectibles. The collectibles are hard. You can't buy everything, which I guess is like in every game. So they want you to kind of want you to grind those little sections there. At least there's more to do in this one, and there is a certain fascination of exploring. Way better than the first one. Obviously, because the first one's a lot easier to get into.
And I have a burning question that I don't even know if I want to know the answer to because it might mess up my expectations going in. But for the sake of the podcast, I am going to ask you if any of the levels in Psychonauts 2, do any of those levels stack up to the Milkman conspiracy from Psychonauts 1? Have they surpassed the peak of Double Fine entertainment, the greatest video game level of all time? I don't know, maybe next to the ending of Portal 1, but yeah, no, I mean, Milkman Conspiracy is legendary, dude. I'm glad you got to experience it.
Yeah, and then you all the little Girl Scouts walking around and following you.
It did Super Mario Galaxy stuff with like a center of gravity of roads that curve and go upside down. How did they do that back then?
I would say there are a couple levels that can stack up in different ways. It's not the same. It's not the same like vibe. You know? Like the Milkman was super cartoony, super like, I don't want to spoil some of the levels. Some of these levels are good. Are really good. There's a lot of them. A lot of levels. And the combat is actually pretty fun when you start following your stride.
Yeah, that was also a kind of afterthought from the first game. Like Zelda just mashed the B button combat, right?
Yeah. And you get these pins that can change what you want to do. You get to upgrade your skills in different ways to, whatever your play style is. Like, it's dope. Like, I don't want to spoil anything, really. Play the game. It's on Game Pass. Fuck. If you played the first one years ago, just jump right into the second one. They give you an overview as soon as you start playing the game. If you want to skip the first one, fuck it, skip it. I wouldn't recommend it. I would play the first one. It's like, what was it, $2? I
wish you could skip levels in more games. I mean, I remember like how mad gamers were when the Call of Duty franchise started doing that. But as someone who like's got to get footage and sometimes wants to replay old games, but only the best parts, I would love it if I could just like double click on milkmanconspiracy.exe and jump right into that part of the game.
It is $10 for the first one. I think it's worth it. The only thing I I probably dislike about the second one is that they made the character change a little bit. You know, in the first one there was like this like, you know, innocent love interest type thing going on.
Mm-hmm.
In this one, they completely change her, and I get why, you know, because we're going into that phase of like the girl has to be independent. She doesn't need no man type thing. That's what the trend is right now. So it's like, which is true. I'm not saying that, you know, women don't, obviously, but I'm just saying like it's that trend now. So like she has that. So like she disappears almost in this game. Like they don't talk like for like the first third of the game. Like they talk for a little bit. She disregards him completely because he does talk too much, but she disregards him. It's not like the first one where she was like, oh my God, he's such a cute boy. Like she instantly changes because there is no gap between the two other than one mission. So it is right away. And it's never explained why she changes like that or anything. I'm surprised she even called him her boyfriend by, you know, at any point. So yeah, like that was the only weird part. Like it's crazy to see how in the first one they had this whole thing going on and then they completely changed it because of the way the world is now. Again, I don't want a damsel in distress thing. Like they did that in the first one. But it's isn't it like what do you guys think? Like would you want
like did they just turn her into an asshole?
Not an asshole. They didn't give her any screen time, and they just I would have rather screen time her being a little bit more, you know, standoffish like she's being, and explain it and develop the character. So instead they just made her standoffish like she didn't like the guy in the first place, and she disappears. It is the most weirdest fucking thing ever. Maybe it has something to do with the voice actor or something. I don't know. Like, am I being weird? Like, isn't that weird? She's such a big part in the first one.
Well, there's this like 16-year-long gap between the two, and even if they're trying to keep an immediate sense of continuity between the two, that I'm imagining a whole bunch of writers are different than the first game.
Yeah.
The thoughts going through their heads are definitely going to be different, and over a gap like that, it would be rough for any game or movie or media in general to maintain a sense of good continuity across a 16-year-long gap between installments.
Huh, that's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. Like that's the only thing that was weird. Other than that, like, man, they nailed it, man. They nailed it. It was good. It was a good game. Both of these games were good. I already spent too long on this. Good game. Good games. Play it.
I just want to mention, I got a PS5 today, and I started downloading Demon Souls.
Did you have to go to like a shady back alley and like get someone to open up their coat?
Do you know what? No. I got lucky. A friend here in Kyoto, another game dev, who's worked on some pretty interesting titles, if you knew who he was. You actually might know. On Twitter, he goes by Cheesemeister. You know the E3 schedule that looks like an Excel spreadsheet that goes around every year that has all the times of it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's the guy who makes that. Funny little Twitter fact for you there. Well, he lives in Kyoto, and he won one of the extra lottery like tickets, so you can purchase one from Gale, like an electronic branch here in Kyoto, Japan in general. And he was like, "Hey, I have one. Do you still need one?" And I was like, "Absolutely, I do." So I purchased a PS5 today, and I'm downloading Demon Souls right this minute.
Did you have to pay a big markup, or was
no,
it MSRP
no.
price?
It was MSRP. He was like,
Nice.
I thankfully, because I almost did. I almost did last week, didn't I?
It still kind of sounds like you had to jump through some hoops, but that's definitely better than a lot of people have been having to put up with these days.
I didn't even have to sign up for a lottery or anything. A friend,
like that. You didn't have, and you paid less than $700. I'm assuming.
Yes, I paid just
that's
the
like
MSRP.
The standard going rate for a lot of the year on one of those things. But anyways, you're gonna give it its first test run with Demon Souls, right?
Yes, I am. So prepare for that next week. Prepare to die.
Yeah. What kind of TV are you using?
Big 4K, lovely 60-inch thing.
So yeah, does it have HDR mode?
It does. Not that
Jesus
not that
Christ.
we know anything about that.
Well, that means that you're going to be able to see a gap in the generation better than a lot of us, because I did not really start to see it until Ratchet and Clank. I would be curious to see if you can spot the generational gap in other games that don't go as hard on the graphics tech as Ratchet does, because Demon's Souls does get pretty in a lot of footage I've seen, but I still am looking at that footage in 1080p, sometimes 1440p on a computer monitor with no HDR. So like, it does dishearten me a bit to know that I'm not even going to be looking at the same footage as what you're seeing with your eyeballs on that thing.
Yeah.
The controller, though.
Oh, it's nice. I started playing Astrobot, and it's nice. It is nice.
Yeah, you got to tell us stories about how the controller works, or if you ever get curious and steal a copy of Death Stranding, because I know you fucking hate that game with the passion.
It's just the worst game ever.
If you end up enjoying it more with pressure-sensitive controls, adding a bit of tactile, nuance and depth to the artistic, cinematic, long, drawn-out shots experience of Death Stranding, something that it's a very divisive game. Let's say maybe when those first review scores came out, it did seem like half the user audience, maybe something like 46%, might have been able to appreciate something of such
quality.
Jesus, you can't even act classy about Kojima stuff the way you can about what I'm trying to transition to.
I would be more tempted to replay Ghost of Tsushima in 60 frames than I would Death Stranding on a PS5.
Oh, hell yeah.
Are any of those games, do they go higher than 60 frames on your TV? Because that's so nice. That is one thing I have been able to see that console gamers can't see, is what more than 60 frames look like.
Do you know what's really funny you say that? So my laptop, that gaming laptop I bought not that long ago, the Asus ROG G15 thing or whatever, that does have a 120 hertz refresh rate.
Oh, good. That's so nice. That's
and
so good.
playing my own game on it. We have, obviously, the motion cuts in the cutscenes and such.
Right.
Oh my god, it's like fucking butter. It's amazing. I wish people could experience Curse to Golf like that. I do see the 100. I am a big fan of this 120 hertz frame rate thing now.
Yes. It seems like you and I are high class appreciators of smooth, clean shots with moody lighting and a can't really say high frame rate with what I'm trying to transition to here. We're gonna be film snobs over The Green Knight. Liam, what do you think of these people who think The Green Knight was boring and slow and made no sense?
I think they were right, because I felt the same thing while I was watching it, but then when it ended, I didn't stop thinking about it. So I wonder if they wrote it while they were watching versus when they finished it.
I'm wondering if we could even talk about the ending without spoiling it, because it's an abstract, vague ending.
I love the ending. It's the best part of the movie. It is the best part of the movie. I love it. It's so fucking weird.
If you're a fan of Crusader Kings, that's an ending for you.
Imagine that is the best summary of how that movie ends. Do you know when you're playing Crusader Kings, right, and you take it slow, and you spend like 60 hours doing essentially 2 years of in-game stuff because you're so afraid? Well, then you get really good and you fast forward 60 years in 30 minutes. That's what Green Knight is like.
In a beautifully shot, beautifully sequenced montage with an amazing soundtrack behind it, and
it's so good.
Characters whose costumes look worn and dirty but still bold and glamorous. Those crowns with the halos on it, they looked fucking sick. Great. The Green Knight looked fucking sick. Is it just me? Okay, we're almost exactly 10, maybe even going on 11 years soon past Dark Souls, and are starting to see the inspiration in other things in mainstream media. And the Green Knight kind of looks like a Dark Souls boss. His axe looks like something from a Dark Souls game. There's this beautiful, absolutely gorgeous shot where Gawain is trotting his horse down a road with absolutely nothing on it, and it makes the planet, it makes the
Green Knight.
The island of England look,
Wales.
It makes the world look big and unexplored. They talk about how you can trot your horse down for days and never reach the end, and he has all these
dangerous
video game side quests along the way. Yeah, there's banditry. You can't go places. The people back home think they'll never see him again. It felt like such a wholesome, classic, legendary adventure, but with modern Dark Souls aesthetics going on. There's this one beautiful character who runs behind the horse during this beautiful shot, who's covered in robes that looks like the white furry beast that you fight in the chapel at the before the halfway point of Bloodborne. I forget the name of the beast exactly, but it was the something beast. But I feel like I'm seeing it. I'm seeing Dark Souls everywhere. I'm seeing Souls things in general everywhere. I thought that his reaction to seeing those cheesy giants was cute. Like, he wasn't afraid of them. He asked them for directions, and I feel like that kind of folds into the mindset of
I am not tonight.
Of a medieval person who believes there's magic out there somewhere in the world.
It's good.
I had a Wikipedia synopsis of the original poem, and every time he finished one of his little side quests on the road, I checked the synopsis to see how it ended in the original poem, and I think that really helped out the experience too. I was not bored throughout it, and it didn't feel like 2 hours, and it didn't feel long and slow, and maybe that's because I was actually scrolling through my phone at the same time, and I know that's a horrible sin for us, Kino cinema snobs who appreciate art house films.
I did the same.
I think it made it better.
It did.
I think it made it better.
Oh, you guys are insane. You guys are insane.
It's a slow movie. You're not missing anything glancing back and forth.
Yeah, and when you read more, you're more intrigued about the mythos.
It makes jokes about the mythos. It subverts the mythos. There's a lot that you wouldn't pick up on if you weren't reading through, if you weren't refreshing yourself on the original poem before going into it. It feels like that's kind of the way you're meant to consume this thing. It felt like it was for nerdy old literature fans.
It's a very well shot film as well. From a cinematography standpoint, I think, Matt, you'd fucking love it, as I said last week.
It came out on streaming. Okay.
You'd dig it.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful.
I was going to watch The Green Knight, and I ended up watching Free Guy.
Oh!
My God. Did he nail that movie?
No way. It's actually decent?
It's actually decent.
Hey, good old Ryan.
Like, it's a fun watch. It's a really fun like, the spirit of video games is there.
Wait, it's a video game movie? I don't know what this is.
It's a video game movie.
Yeah.
It's a video game movie, and this is his second one, and he nails it.
Oh, wow. The Wikipedia description is already nuts. When a bank teller discovers he's a background player in an open-world video game, he decides to become the hero. That's like some Japanese isekai stuff.
Free Guys and Isekai.
Yeah.
It has that feel. Like, there's certain parts where it gets too movie-ish, where, like, I don't want to spoil it, but, like, there's a button, there's something that he can do because he's an NPC, but she can't do, but she ended up doing it for a plot device.
Of course.
And near the end of the movie, and I was just like, come on, guys. Like you're breaking the vibe right now. But other than that, it's just a fun movie to watch. They do nail, like, companies. Like, I would say the stuff that I heard about Rockstar and those guys, he's there. That's probably what they're imitating. the guy who's the evil guy at this place.
Is it Taika Waititi's character?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know the real name of the guy. He is a asshole. He is a cringy asshole. It wasn't too cringy where you're like, you didn't giggle a little bit, but yeah, it was rough.
Are video game movies not cringy anymore? Have we finally reached that point?
Man-child, that guy. Yeah, well, no, this was good. This was good. Man, this reminded me of, like, liking Sonic and liking, like, Pokemon movie. Like, it's in that vein, you know? It's a bit. I say it was a little bit better than Pokemon movie. You know, Pokemon movie had that Pikachu movie. Sorry, was it? Wait, was it Pokemon movie or was it Pikachu?
Detective Pikachu.
Detective Pikachu.
I really liked that movie.
The Pokemon movie ends with a tearjerker involving a Pikachu, so I did get a little confused for a second. But yeah, you're thinking.
You know, there's like a weird dip in Detective Pikachu. This one, the pacing is like just right. Like, it's just, he does enough gags. It's like Deadpool mixed with fucking Ready Player One. You know, that's basically what it is. And yeah, it's a good time. It's a good time. I recommend it. And when it comes out, like on streaming, fucking watch that shit, man. It's a good watch.
It's currently out in cinemas here in Japan, and I watched Suicide Squad in cinemas, and it was a little uncomfortable. I wore double masks, and I was terrified.
I hate wearing masks at the movie theaters. I waited.
So I'm kind of intrigued because I do like the idea of going, because it's one of the only movies on right now. I do like the idea of being able to watch it, but I don't know whether I'd risk dying of coronavirus for it.
Don't risk it. Especially it's so uncomfortable. Like, I'm used to watching movies at home, relaxed and everything. So when I go to the movie theaters, I want the sound system and everything. I don't want to be suffocating. You know what I mean?
I'd be an anxious wreck right now.
Yeah, I was a little bit like that when Suicide Squad started. I was a bit, I'm not going to be able to enjoy this.
Oh, you had people all around you? Like,
yeah.
For me,
Yeah.
I go to, like, you know, the ones with the nice seats, and usually there's like barely people at like 12 o'clock. It's great.
Damn.
Well, there's still COVID out there.
True, but like if everyone's like 5 feet apart, like it doesn't even. I mean, I guess it does matter.
It's not supposed to.
It's not supposed
Yeah,
to.
you know, there's
matter,
always
but,
like
yeah.
a freak 0.01% chance that the one COVID particle could land on your nose. But we're all vaccinated, so if we do get it, we're less likely to get it. We're not going to have bad complications. But people are still getting it. People in my family are still getting it.
What about that new COVID? That new COVID is out now.
Delta.
Delta.
No, there's another one. There's another one after that.
Oh shit, they're at Sigma now?
Fucking Sigma male COVID.
When are they going to release the final form of COVID Omega? Oh my god, you know what I just realized we're doing? This is the first time, I think, where we're like actually happily joking about this stuff and not feeling weird and awkward about it. Are we?
Well, less people are.
I mean, we haven't done that for the past year and a half.
We're not quite at endemic levels, are we? We're still pandemic. We need.
But you can tell just from like that things are starting to get a little bit.
In Japan, it's
brighter.
getting worse. In Japan, it's the worst it's been.
Never mind.
No, I'm sorry. Like,
oh yeah, because you just had the Olympic super spreader.
yeah,
sports.
and we have what's called the Olympic Delta, supposedly, which is like a Delta variant that's supposedly from the Olympics.
That sounds like some DLC shit.
I bought the Olympic Delta version. I wonder if I could get my money back, please.
Damn.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Oh man.
It's like we've flipped. Now Japan's suffering. It's not great here. But I do get my second vaccine shot next week. I'll be able to telepathically talk to you guys whenever I want via Bill Gates' 5G network. We can share movie references telepathically.
And the jokes will come out easier.
Yeah.
So speaking of things that are uncomfortable to joke about, how fast do you think we can talk our way through this incredibly bizarre, awkward, cringy MLK mode they added to Fortnite?
Oh shit, this shit.
We should give it as much thought as Epic has given to actually inputting it in the game.
And much like Epic, our hearts may be pure and our intentions may be good, but maybe we should put more time into this shit, because damn, guys. Like, I have complicated opinions, feelings here. I will just introduce this topic and then start walking through the feelings later by saying that on August 26th, Epic and Time Magazine announced a partnership to commemorate the 58th anniversary of MLK's I Have a Dream speech by adding a little virtual museum that has some platforming and switch puzzles in it that Fortnite players can optionally load into with their friends. And a lot of edgy teenagers immediately started making memes of playing as the Catwoman skin and cracking whips. A lot of what's the term I should use here? Left-leaning social critic commentators were pointing out the incredible tonal whiplash of having like Rick and Morty and the xenomorph from Aliens learn a lesson about.
Yeah, the best one I saw was like a loading screen that was like, hint, aim for the head. And...
yeah. And the thing is, though, like, I think it's kind of a tragedy because I hate knowing that through this thing, I learned something I would not have otherwise that they didn't teach me as a kid. So, like, there's still a layer to this. I did not know that the whole entire speech was a 16, 17-minute long ordeal. I was only familiar with the 6 minutes that you hear clipped out with the actual, I have a dream, white kids and black kids playing together, having a good time, you know, content of a man's character. I never heard the whole raw, uncut thing. And that's the background music of the whole stage.
Wow.
Music, whatever. I've never, like, heard the whole thing all the way through. And as a result, I heard the stuff that is, like, criticisms of capitalism. The stuff that the educational systems and pop culture media, like when the speech shows up in Forrest Gump, they cut that out. I've never heard the whole thing all the way through, including the parts where he talks about how economic inequality ties into the police brutality and the segregation laws, and how uniting the different poor people of the world will lead to everyone living in brotherly harmony. A lot of the socialist stuff that gets cut out was new to me, and That's why I have weird, complicated feelings over it, because it's absolute tonal whiplash.
And you learn something.
Absolute tonal whiplash of a company that should have taken more time knowing how to present this stuff. Still, the edutainment still worked even on a 30-year-old adult, and it's still designed for kids, though. And, like, I didn't get that whole speech as a kid. Kids these days have the whole entire primary source reference material to look up on their cell phones. And when I was a kid, we didn't have that. When I was a kid, kids were getting fooled by, like, neo-Confederates saying that the Civil War was actually over states' rights. Nowadays, kids can look up the founding documents of that war and confirm that, no, it was actually about slavery, or at least the states' rights to legalize slavery. And now they've got the whole uncut MLK dream speech, including the socialist stuff that the teachers might not have. Maybe the teachers wanted the kids to hear it, but there definitely would be conservative American parents complaining about, there would be a few complaining about the socialist stuff in MLK's career.
Timmy, are you playing that MLK Adventure Walking Simulator again in Fortnite? Get off it!
So yeah, it's really, really awkward and cringy, but you can still tell that they're trying to make, like, serious, good edutainment, but it might not be the right place. But at the same time, where else would they get a bigger audience of kids willing to sit through this stuff than on Fortnite? What do you guys think? I had the floor for a while.
It's tonal whiplash that just doesn't sit right, and it never will. When some dude is dressed as Rick, comes along, shoots you, and teabags you as Rick.
Oh, no, you don't shoot in this mode.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
They disabled the violence and the tomato throwing. They forgot to disable the crossover promotional skins that made things super duper awkward, especially with the Catwoman whip.
that's
Cracking
pretty...
anime. Yeah.
I don't know. I applaud them for making some form of effort. I do. But the fact that it has to come from Fortnite and not the American educational system is
Pretty sad.
Is a damning indictment.
Pretty
of,
sad.
thing.
It's only 15 minutes. They could have sat the kids through it easily, but they never fucking did. I should have heard that whole thing. Okay, I'll tell. One of the weirdest things about watching through the full 17-minute video of the whole speech was that I was getting goosebumps through it. Because it's MLK. You can't listen to MLK and not get goosebumps. But at the same time, I was still looking at really stupid shit happening on the screen. But what was going in my ears was giving me goosebumps. It was weird. They ended up disabling the custom emotes, but, you know, the memes have still been made. Edgy teenagers have still posted thousands upon thousands of videos of people desecrating MLK's memory in Fortnite. What a sentence. What a sentence.
Yeah.
Matt, you okay back there?
Yeah.
Should we shut the fuck up now?
The grunts of a tired man.
You mentioned, like, my reaction was when we were talking about this. Was it yesterday with this?
Oh yes, the $15 AMA that the listeners can sign up for from the tier on our Patreon. That thing.
Yeah, I was very surprised over some bullshit, and I I said some stuff that's kind of what Liam said. It's just I don't want to see this shit in Fortnite, but like it doesn't matter. I don't care. Like this weird shit that white people do all the time. Like it just doesn't. I just don't care anymore. Like I don't care. This is fucking America. Like this shit is just normal.
I want to ask though if you see like harm being done here. Because I think that's where I get hung up. Like, it's cringy, it's awkward. There's going to be kids who log on to this thing just to make fun of it, but I'm feeling at the same time, at least those kids are getting exposed to the raw, uncut, full source material of a historically important event. Like, even if they're there to make fun of it, at least they're getting it. And I'm just wondering, like if that ultimately means no harm is being done at the end of the day.
I always think, at the end of the day, I would like to be that positive. And I would like to go that route. It's just like you remember I told you when I was I think I said this way back too when I was in the protest for BLM, and it's just a bunch of young kids out there, barely black people, and many people could not even hold an eye connection with me, and all of them were taking pictures. They were all out there for clout. This is what the kids do, you know, and it could be just California. Because California, and especially in this neighborhood, in the beach towns and stuff like that, you know, that's white kids, trust fund babies, you know. But like, I hope, yes, I hope, George, I hope that it's actually positive in some way. That at least over half, or half, let's just say half, have actually got something from it and opened their eyes. Sometimes all there needs to be is someone saying MLK. I'm like, oh, what's MLK? And then they search it up, and then they get, yeah.
Even if it's cringy.
Even if it's cringy as a motherfucker, man. I don't want to go too deep in it because I feel like I'm going to be insulting. But yes. America, man. This is America at its finest.
Yeah.
It's weird. If Fortnite's going to push something out, they have to vet the shit.
They have the money to.
Get some people who are not. Yeah, who are some diversity. Anyone but a white male looking at this stuff to vet it out. And I don't have any faith that was happening. Because cracking whips and shit, come on, man.
Well, that was from the Catwoman.
Yeah,
she's a DC comic books character. It wasn't supposed to be about.
God, trust someone to find that.
Yeah.
They have the money to employ enough playtesters to figure out what combinations of emotes and avatars would have created edgy jokes out of a serious presentation. They should have had the money to replace the loading screen tips for a couple weeks or however long the event goes. It just feels amateurish for Epic level budget.
It's because they don't care.
Because they rushed it, probably.
They rushed it. They don't care that much. It's a fucking user-made fucking thing. Like, fuck it.
No. As it turns out, it was made by an official collaboration with Time Magazine. There was.
Oh no, George.
So sometimes you see the Time Magazine logo out there on the lawn next to the national monuments, next to the screen playing the speech.
Yeah, well, all right, yeah. I got nothing further to say.
Yeah.
It is what it is, man. Shit, whatever. You know, I'm not mad at it. It is. I mean, come on. We went deep on this yesterday. Like yeah.
Given that part of Epic's arguments in their lawsuit is that they're marketing Fortnite as a metaverse rather than just one video game that people play.
Oh, God,
and given that Fortnite's primary audience is children, and given that they've kind of sort of dipped their toes into serious edutainment stuff on the game before, with another incredibly awkward event they did during the BLM protest last year, I would not be surprised if we're going to see more of this, though. Like, maybe they'll do it better next time, but I would not be surprised if every now and then some cringy attempt at edutainment happens in Fortnite.
For the clicks. Get those clicks, Fortnite. Stay relevant.
Not for educating the kids. Not for the good of mankind.
If anyone's going to finally do the metaverse with all the NFTs and shit like that, it's not going to be fucking Fortnite. I'll tell you that.
It's going to be Gary Vee.
Oh shit. Wow, it's so weird for someone to know shit. I've talked Liam's ear off like 3 times now about fucking NFTs after the podcast. Gary B. Oh shit.
Gary
Gary B.
Speaking of tonal whiplash and getting unexpected results based on how serious the previous topic discussion was, I think we should extremely quickly answer one listener question in as few words as possible so as to tease speculation as to how depraved our minds might actually be. For listener questions this week, I'm going to ask us all one question. We all get to say one answer. That's it. You guys are not going to give an explanation behind our answer. We don't have the time for that this week. We just have to say a name, and then we're done. Mr. Bubbles wants to ask us, Dad and Sons, who was your first fictional crush?
Easy. Buffy Summers. Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Oh, okay. Mine is... It's been enough time, I can say it. Mine is
Lola Rabbit.
Ryoko from Tenchi Muyo.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
All right, Matt. Your turn. Your turn. Do it.
I don't know what my first crush was.
When you know you're a young boy, things are changing in your brain.
Matt was born banging.
I don't. What character got me up in the morning? I don't know if I had one.
That's the way to put it. I don't know
if I had.
Wait. What do you mean by that?
Double meaning. Yeah.
Sorry. We're too many words. Just gotta focus on the names.
I didn't say like, oh man, I can't wait to see Bulma in Dragon Ball Z.
There it is. Bulma from Dragon Ball Z. Thank you, Matt. Good answer. A lot of other people, I'm sure, have shared that similar experience growing up. It took such courage and bravery to expose your childhood.
Well, I don't know if Matt's was technically a true answer, but both of yours were anime characters.
No, I'm pretty sure I had crushes. I'm pretty sure I think I don't know. I think I just blacked them out.
Oh, it sure is getting late. Well, might be time to wrap up, guys.
I like how you guys just knew. You were like, oh man, I still think about her now.
Mine was Buffy. Come on. It's Buffy. Sarah Michelle Gellar.
I think I hear someone calling my... I think Eddie has to poop a big fat stinky dump. Something's burning on the stove. Guys, we've gone on for so very incredibly long. We really should speed things up and not have to talk about our fictional crushes anymore, right?
True, yeah.
Yeah.
And Goku. I did like Goku.
Whoa.